Alright, welcome to our weird US history. We're going to run a sort of thought experiment. What if the Midwest formed its own country? Separate from the US, of course. So I wanted to make this separate before 1861 because, the Civil War was kind of the end of states seceding, or at least thinking they could secede. I think. Pretty sure. Anyways, but I needed a good point to separate these. So I decided that 1841 would be a good time, mostly because that is when the ninth president, William Henry Harrison, died. Now, at that time, no one really knew what would happen when a president died, like who would take over. But John Tyler decided that he would take over. So I decided that what if the Midwestern states were really pissed over this and decided to secede? So that's exactly what we're going to do. Right, so we're going to need to set up things just real quick. So, I might be creating fake crises in the future, like, for certain, like, maybe, like, economic depressions and shit for, election things, because I want this to be a series. Hopefully it will be, if you guys actually like it. Don't really have any viewers, so, but I'll make it a series, why not? But I'll be creating, like, fake political parties, so, like, we're going to start off with the Democratic Party and the Whig Party, because those were the two that were, big in the 1840s. And I'll just use senators, representatives, and governors from the time as, like, the presidential candidates and shit. And also people who, like, actually ran for president that were from these states. They just have to be from the region of the Midwest. And we're just going to use the actual Constitution and the electoral system of modern US, because I'm not the most educated in all of this stuff, so we'll just be going with that. And we might have a small civil war. There's not many slave states in this Midwest pact kind of thing, but there are, like, one or two, I think. So we might do that. But it'll basically just be a small US, So let's get started. Alright, so in 1841, the president, William Henry Harrison, died. So, for some reason in this universe, the Midwest really hated that John Tyler was trying to take over, like, sort of. So they voted to secede from the Union, taking some territories with them, like, all the Midwestern states and basically things that go beyond that. I'll show you a map on screen if I remember. And so they all hated this, and they basically voted to succeed, and John Tyler just didn't do anything about it. So the first order of business for them would be to get a president. So they had an sort of an emergency election for the new president, which was going to be just basically serve out William Henry Harrison's term, 1841 to 1845. Then they'd have another election, but on schedule. So basically, everything is the same. So all senators, representatives, and governors would stay the same from the US area. So without any further ado, let's get right into the video. Welcome, everybody, to the 1841 emergency election for the Midwestern States of America. Tonight, with our two candidates, Illinois Senator Richard M. Young representing the Democrats, and for the Whigs, former Governor of Michigan and current Senator of Michigan, William Woodbridge. Let's get right into the 7 p.m. poll closings. Indiana will be the only one closing at this time. It holds 57% in favor of the Whig Party, with only 42% going to the Democrats at this time. This is considered a safe Whig Party for this election, and will win the Whigs 9 electoral votes. Now it's time for the 7:30 p.m. poll closings. Ohio's 21 electoral votes, which I may remind you is half of the electoral vote entirely. It appears to be going to the Whigs with a 63% favor over the Democrats' 35%. With the rest going to these third-party candidates, I think it is a solid state for the Whigs. And this will win the Whig Party the presidency, as it is already called. Now, there's still a few more states to go. I'll get back to you then. Alright, we are here for the 8 p.m. poll closings. Both Missouri and Illinois have closed their polls. Currently, Illinois is 51% in favor of the Whigs and 49% in favor of the Democrats. Currently too close to call. Likely story with Missouri, as it is 52% in favor of the Democrats and 47% in favor of the Whigs. Also too close to call. Now it is time for the 9 p.m. poll closings. Michigan, being the last state not to close its polls, is going 69% in favor of the Whigs, with only 21% in favor of the Democrats. This is a solid state for the Whigs. Also, we can finally call Missouri for the Democrats, as they won 53%. And Illinois was won by the Whigs with a 51% narrow lead. And that will bring us to the end of our presidential prediction. With only 5 states and 42 electoral votes, it was a complete sweep for the Whig Party, winning 38 of those votes. And with the popular former governor of Michigan and current senator, William Woodbridge, will be the first president of the Midwestern States of America, only losing Missouri to the Democrats, which is only 4 electoral votes. The Whigs won 61% of the popular vote, and the vice president will be Sherlock J. Andrews, the representative from Ohio's 15th Congressional District. The Congress layout was 6 Democrats and 4 Whigs in the Senate, and 19 Whigs and 12 Democrats in the House of Representatives. I hope to see you guys next time. Goodbye.